All right, guys, let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. I'm going to just get right into the charts and show you guys what I'm seeing at the end of the week today. All right, so dropping into the NASDAQ futures, we're just going to kind of evaluate where we're at. All right, I did get stopped out of that trade today. I had a short trade on triple Qs. Wasn't working out, and we did get stopped out. We can't win them all. You know, that's the nature of the game. So we have to manage risk, which means taking, appropriate stops when they show up, and that is what I did myself. So on the NASDAQ futures, daily chart still in a downtrend. That's obvious, okay? Clean and clear downtrend, all right? Nothing's changed there. Today, pretty strong rally, obviously off the lows. Now, we did hit our targets yesterday, the profit target that we hit. All right, we hit it right here, and this is where I initially covered my short trade. But then as we rallied up to this level, right about in here, it was right about here, about 11,014.55. I was looking for a continuation to the downside. We didn't get that, obviously. Kind of just drifted sideways, ramped up into 11,488, which is kind of minor. There is some resistance there for sure, but then just took off to the upside into the close. So at the end of the day, pretty strong rally today, and that's it. Now we do have, we have the potential to make a new divergent high. However, if I look at this, you see the PPO and the RSI right here. It is, we're a pretty strong move today. Essentially, if I zoom in, didn't quite take out the divergence that's in place right now, but pretty close. So it's just definitely not the best look for, for a short trade. And that's why I covered, closed out my short trade and just really went home flat. Now, one thing that could potentially play out, and this is what's giving me a little bit of pause. Again, we're still in a downtrend, so there's no reason to be long, at least not up here at these levels. I don't see any indication that a long is the play quite yet. I think if anything, we want to look for opportunities still to short or sell the rip. And here's the thing. On this wedge here, so this was a bearish rising wedge, and we did come down to a major target. So that all makes sense, and it completely makes sense that we would bounce off that level and rally. I was looking for a little more downside, but we didn't quite get that. When I flip over to a couple other things like triple Qs, but really Apple, which is a large component of the NASDAQ top 100 triple Qs, did not reach the measured target on this one. So on this one, you see the hourly chart here. We've got this bearish rising wedge. All right, we did break down, but it just didn't really, there was just no follow through. It broke down, rallied, the last couple days. Today, rallied right into basically what looks like resistance. All right, that's the former high and a back test of that bearish rising wedge. So I think there is a decent chance that we gap down on Monday because this thing closed right at resistance. All right, so I'm thinking that the measured target for this wedge, you take the widest part of the wedge, which is about right there, and then you draw it down like that, and it basically puts us to a breakdown, a target of about 130.50 area as the measured target, and we have not hit that, obviously. So if we're going to sell down, then I think it would do it now, starting on next week. Reject right here at resistance and sell down to that 130. So I think that is still in the cards. No guarantees, of course, but it definitely looks like we potentially could do that. The also thing that you'll notice today on Apple, we made an equal high pretty much here on the hourly chart, but it's still a divergent high. So as I move out, you'll see we still have that negative divergence, equal high in price, lower high in momentum. That's a divergent high at resistance. So honestly, it's a very objective short right here at this level. So if this is going to sell down, then triple Qs and the NASDAQ futures should continue lower. Here's triple Qs. the bearish rising wedge here that we had on this hourly chart. Now we did hit the measured target. There's the widest part of the wedge there, and you kind of mark it down, and the measured target put us down to 275. So that's the level I had been talking about for a while, and sure enough, we hit that measured target. And I was looking for a bounce, obviously, off that level. We caught the long yesterday, but I did flip short, and then obviously had to stop out on that short today. And this thing just rallied straight up. So maybe they want to pop it just a little bit. All right, make a new divergent high. That's possible. Still, you know, if it does that, it will be negative divergence. Unless it just keeps, you know, carrying through and burns through the divergence, we'll still have it there. So what I'm thinking, I think we could, you know, sell down next week. All right, that's just there's a good potential. Now on the other side, if I look at a long, I definitely don't want to go long. You don't want to go long at or near resistance, but if we break out, you know, and break through resistance, then sure, we can maybe look at a long. On the daily chart, I've got the trend line marked out, and you'll see here we're clearly still in the downtrend. And as I zoom out, you know, you basically have you know, resistance right up in here. You can draw this trend line. There's many ways you could draw this downtrend line. Maybe mark it like that, or potentially like that. You can kind of adjust it to connect the data points, but we definitely have data, you know, reactions to define a downtrend line, whether it's, you know, it's in this zone of resistance. So if they want to rally it up and hit the trend line again up to 287, that's possible. And we could probably do that and still have that negative divergence in play. So definitely not a long here. You know, I think there's a case to be made to have a short here, especially towards the end of the day. Obviously, I had to stop out today, and so we'll see what happens next week. We'll just let, you know, kind of let next week play out, or, you know, see how we open on Monday, and we can maybe take a different look at the chart. But at resistance in a downtrend, potential to go a little higher, but I can equally see us stopping right around here and having another move down. So small caps, IWM, as far as I can tell, do have kind of a breakout and so far a successful back test. So in general, that's kind of bullish. When I look at the small caps on the daily chart, here's the bear market that it's been in. You've got a couple reactions here, and sure enough, you got this breakout back test, and today bouncing off of that trend line support. So yeah, that's bullish in short. If I go down to the hourly, nothing tells me really anything, so we could continue higher. Going down to the daily, you know, the one thing that you'll want to take note of is, do we continue to trade in this price action right here, maybe popping up and making new highs? Does that take place with negative divergence? If that does happen, and right now I can't say cleanly enough that that's how it's going to look, but if we start to see that, then that will tell me that this price action will likely become a bull trap. Okay, again, further down the road, so we don't have to worry about that now. As of right now, it looks like a breakout and a back test and bouncing off support. So that is it on that one. So the biggest thing that I have right now to say that there's potential for a short is that Apple chart. It's so heavily weighted in the triple Qs that it just looks like it's right at resistance. It could sell down, and if it sells down, it's probably going to drag the markets down with it. That's about it. So here's gold futures, GC, clearly in an uptrend. We do not have negative divergence. It is just bullish momentum and bullish price action. So gold continues to be by the dip as it looks bullish in my mind. When I look at Newmont, largest miner, you can see it basically this week bounced off support there and just continued higher after bouncing. So gold looks bullish. Gold miners look bullish. I think it's by the dip, and that remains that way. Okay, JP Morgan looks kind of interesting. A couple of things that I've been noticing. The healthcare stocks actually have been pretty weak lately, and then tech looks relatively strong. I think there's some rotation happening where they're rotating out of the the healthcare stocks, some of the defensives, and going into maybe more tech. JP Morgan, you can see here on this one, you've got on the daily chart, you've got a uptrend line to watch, and we have negative divergence on the daily right there. And we have a sell signal that it looks like we got about 2 days ago, but in general, it hasn't really gone anywhere, but still right there. So that looks like a sell signal. And if you go down to the weekly chart, you can see that the week we did break down and close below that. So that looks like a sell signal to me. If I go to the hourly on this one, potentially bear flagging here. So you're kind of flagging, marking your flagpole, and then flagging out right here, and then maybe a continuation to the downside, which would set us up for a move. Oh, there's a gap to fill, maybe down to this 127, 128 area. You're probably also going to get a reaction right in here at these lows. This is where I'd probably look at some support right in there, which is about 128.50, we'll call it. So I like that for continued downside. On the upside, we did talk about CrowdStrike, and you'll see here on the daily chart, clean bullish falling wedge. All right, bullish divergence on the daily, just showing up, a breakout, and hasn't really taken off, but it's still holding that breakout. So as of now, looks to me to be bullish. And you take the widest part of the wedge, the projected target on this one sets us up for a move up to about these highs right in this 124.80, 125 area. Somewhere right in there is where the projected target is. So I think I like that one. I don't know. The one thing that gives me a little bit of pause is the fact that we didn't really have a back test. So we could get that. And if Apple's going to sell down, then the market's likely going to sell down, and this will probably sell down too. So there is the potential to come in for like a full back test and then rally. Gives me a little pause. So, I did go long on it with a starter position, but nothing huge. I'll add to it if we take out these highs here on the hourly chart, which is about 107.30. Okay, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning, so jump on that if you're interested. We'll go through all kinds of subscriber stock picks, anything you guys want me to look at. Spend about an hour tomorrow. Other than that, everyone have a great weekend. Catch you on the next one.